Hey, that's Natalie, the podcast on Podbean and soon to be other podcasts. Ooh, Apple Pay would be great. Ooh, gotta dream sometime. Well, as I come into this podcast, the reason why I am doing this first one kind of like a test is because of the fact that I wanted to try a format which is very reasonable, but also to the fact that it is realistic. And what I mean is that how I have it set up in my mind, which is always something, is that I want to do 15 minutes on a certain topic because again, the series this of this week, and actually for a while, is going to be 50 for 15 minutes. And what I mean by that is, I'm blessed to be here on this earth for 50 years. In February, that was my birthday. And a lot of stuff has happened between 6 years ago when COVID hit to now. And I think a lot of times we have great different podcasts. I love to hear podcasts, that just gets my mind running or scared the crap out of me because I do in a way like spooky stuff, but I just don't like to watch scary movies like I used to. But I felt like, you know what, it would be cool to have a podcast. It's like holding a conversation as if the person is in, like you're in the room with me and I'm just telling you some stories or telling you some events that's happened in my life, but also maybe give a little wisdom because again, to be here for 50 years, I've seen it all. I've been a child, a teenager, a young adult, and now, I'm 50, so I don't know what the word for that. I'm not elderly yet. I'm not. I guess I could get AARP now, which is fine, but ain't gonna lie, nothing wrong with some discount. But I just feel like it's just good to have that one-on-one talk. So for now, I'm just going to give a little teaser of what I felt a good topic would be for this evening. I know a lot of times I will already have it pre-planned, but I'll be honest, I'm doing this spontaneously. I'm taking a chance and I'm going to let you enjoy my topic tonight and my stories. So I'm gonna be honest, it's summertime. It's summer right now. It's hot. I'm currently, with some relatives, helping them out. And even though I'm up north, it's hot. And I actually reside in the South. That's where I live. I'm not going to give the details yet, but I live down south. I've been up north for almost 2 weeks, and it's hot, and it's like mirroring each other. It's like I never left. But thank God for air conditioning or whoever created it. Props up to you. But overall, I'm just happy to be in the land of the living. I'm happy to be on this podcast talking with you all. So when it comes down to it, it's about summer. We all had those good summer days. We would go on our bikes. I'm actually a Gen X child. So summer was like that. You were free because, it wasn't a schedule. Pretty much you ate your Cheerios, whatever was left for you. My mom, she gave me a little burnt piece of toast and some bacon. And I got up and she would take me over to my grandmother's house. Grandmama's house, we all had that grandmother. We got that black grandmother that she would make you breakfast or she'll just tell you where everything was at. Once you made your breakfast, she let you stay in the house to see the price is right and maybe the beginning of any type of soap. So my grandmother, her thing was The Young and the Restless. So I've been watching Victor since I am 50. So I just tell you how long Victor been on that show. So and then after that, you had to go out. You had to go out and play. And it wasn't the fact of you had a schedule to play. You just had to get out that house. The only reason you could come back into the house is the fact that you had to go to the bathroom or you just did something bad. And you knew you didn't want to do nothing bad because you wanted to stay out of the house. That was the goal. So I remember, my grandmother, she had a beautiful backyard and we would play in the fountain, well, She wouldn't let us play in the fountain. We could look at the fountain, and then we would help her because she had gardens. So, that was a thing. We would go to her garden, pick her tomatoes, had the best tomato sandwich. You haven't lived life, especially as a kind of like a southern northern girl, is you had to get a fresh tomato out that garden, cut it, put it on white bread with some Miracle Whip, salt and pepper. That was a good sandwich. That was lunch. That was lunch. And then you had to go back outside. And once you get back outside, you know what? You get thirsty because you're playing out in the heat and you're tired. And you know what that good drink of water was? It was the hose. The hose had the best water. It was cool. It was refreshing. And it was free because all you did was turn it on. You just had to make sure you turn it off because the last thing grandmama didn't want is that high water bill. So you had to make sure and turn it off. So that was an awesome summer memory. And then another summer memory is, fireworks. Is it called fireworks? Yeah, fireworks. And we would go and that's when we were, I ain't gonna say dumb. I don't think we were dumb. I just think we were spontaneous. We just didn't care, finger what for what? We just got the fireworks and we just, you know, lit it up and threw it. We always threw it in the direction of a person. I don't know why. You couldn't throw it in the opposite direction of the wind. You just want to throw it at somebody, especially them firecrackers. Woo! But my favorite ones was the little sparklers. I used to love writing in, the air with the sparklers. I thought that was like awesome. And it was a great thing to experience. And then another summer thing was I was lucky because when I was a kid, and if I was good, I could get a water toy. Yes. We could go to the first toy place was called Toys R Us. Before it was Children's Palace. That was the old school. So Children's Palace. And then it was Toys R Us, you know. And then I remember we could get a slip and slide, which I hated, but I loved because the only bad thing was my backyard wasn't level. So we would lay it out, right? So you would lay the slip and slide out, and then we would have pockets of water. So you would have pockets of dryness and pockets of water. So when you running, you would slide maybe halfway or you would just slide to the front and then you have to push yourself the rest of the way. So because remember, if your yard's uneven, it ain't that water's gonna gather it. It had a little gathering place in the middle. So that was like a little mini pool. And we would just do it and do it. And we would eat lunch and go back out there and do it again. And I was just excited. And then the next day was the worst because it felt like somebody just beat you up. Nobody gave you rules that when you play in water and eat that you get a body cramp, but I didn't care. Even though I barely could get out of bed, that was just the best memory of that. And then after I grew up and said, you know what, I don't want to get injured anymore with that slip and slide. So I stopped that. So it was a toy called the Mr. T water gun. And it was the Mr. T head and they had a little like gun shooting at you. And what it is you had these little sponges that you would wet and you would hit it at Mr. T's head and then he would shoot you with water, depending on what side you are. So I was lucky that, I always got my sister, so she always got shot. But then my parents got tired of trying to buy us toys, so we had the best toys ever. The hose. We just had to turn the hose on and they would just do little waves in the air. That was our water park. Man, my father was good at it. He would just wave the hose in the air and we was like, yeah. And then we would go and after the water park we would do, because remember, we couldn't come back in the house unless you had to go to the bathroom and eat or if you get in trouble. But again, we were kids. We didn't want to get in trouble. So we would skip rocks and then we would play all night and we had to be back in when them lights came on. When them lights came on, you better be in that house. Because if them lights was on and you ain't in that house, whoo, that was something to think about. But I would always make sure because my father, one thing about my dad, he was big and he worked in corrections and he had guns under my bed. So I wasn't trying to see how that worked. I wasn't trying to see heaven yet. I know I'm on one day, God willing, go I wasn't trying to go no quicker than I had to. So, but in this memory of summertime and joy as a Gen X kid, I loved it. But it's different now. I see kids outside. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I barely see kids outside now. They, eh, yeah, I ain't seen no kids outside. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't really, well, I see the babies, like the younger ones, their mothers will take them out. But teenagers, I don't know where they at. They might be, I don't know. They might be somewhere. But I just know that things have changed from the feral days of the summertime. And I loved it and I miss it. And I love when I go on IG and I see the little scripts of if you were a Gen X child, heck yeah, woo, going to the park. Oh yeah, that was the last thing, going to the park. Woo, that sometimes that was like a experience within itself. We all climbed up that long slide that had been baking in the sun for a long time. And then the worst thing, we had on shorts. So it wasn't like we had pants on, we had shorts. So now we're hitting our skin on that hot ass line and we're going down and in excitement and pain. And then the merry-go-round. Oh yes, the merry-go-round. You had to be the lucky one if you had to be in it. Because a lot of times since I was taller, they wanted me to run. And then I would run and jump on and hopefully don't get knocked off. But it's it's something to see. Yeah, we had a lot of Death Wish toys back on in the playground back in the days, but you know what? We're still here. We're making it work. We are Gen X, and I love that about my generation. I love it. I love the laughter, the memories. Even with my sister, she's a Gen X as well, so we always talk about stuff. But I think the reason why I wanted to do this is again, I wanted to give the format of just having a conversation, just telling the world, whoever's listening, that we, me as a person, me as a Gen Xer, summertime was fun. We made the best out of nothing. And we had to have the imagination to keep it going. And I'm not judging any other, I'm not, I don't want to, I know I see like other, like millennials and stuff. You're like, oh, well, what have you done? Or why are you off? Well, maybe we're off because we had to make stuff work out of nothing. We had a key put around our neck and we had to come home and make sure we locked everything up. We didn't burn anything. Nothing got destroyed. That when we came back, that everything was just there. So we were little adults. And now as Gen X people, we just don't care. We don't want to be adults at this point. We've been adults since we were kids. And even to this day right now, I mean, I'm adulty now, even though I'm talking on this awesome podcast, but overall, I'm just excited for the new things I'm going to bring to the podcast. As 50 and 15, we'll talk about everything on a woman spectrum, on a person spectrum, on a spiritual spectrum. Because, hey, I'm going through it. Premenopause, bring it on. Hey, I sweat too. I'm gonna give the definition of boob smile. I'm telling you, it's going to be funny when I get to that. And you're like, boob smile? Yes. If you have breasts and you sweat, your shirt will look like two little smiley faces right under. So that's one example. And then another example is when it comes to motherhood. I have two bonus daughters. I didn't have children personally, but I have bonus daughters through a marriage. And motherhood, regardless if it's physical, you gave birth to beautiful life, or if you're loving beautiful life and haven't, have a child, that's another topic that I'm going to discuss. Because there's a lot of women who decided not to have children, not because they didn't want to. It might be a physical cause. So that's another topic that I will discuss. Dating, divorce. Hey, I've done it, been there, done that. And I just want to give, like, again, that conversation of I'm there with you, laughing, joking, crying, all emotional feelings, because again, life is going to happen. We all have one life to live. Let's make the most of it. It's not going to always be roses, but it ain't always going to be boo boo. So, so right now, where I am currently at the 15. But again, the reason why I'm doing this because I want to ramble. I don't like when you get to a point of a podcast and then it's a lot of rambling and then you're like, okay, so what's the topic about? So at this point, I'm going to do a sum it up. In the past podcast, I used to do it's called a soapbox, because I didn't know what to do. So I ain't gonna lie, I just made that up. So to sum it all up, 50 at 15 the podcast is a series of life, of living, of enjoying, getting to 50, the ups and downs, the ins and outs, laughing, joking, loving, hating, just keeping it real on life. You know, COVID took a lot of people into levels of distress, losing family members, loved ones. Some people may be having after effects of it. So, I mean, so 6 years that happened ago to now, things happen good, bad, and different. But we have to keep on enjoying what life gives. Nothing's wrong. I feel when we focus too much on the serious and not maybe give yourself a chance to laugh and joke or to look back, I don't think everybody had crappiest childhood. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, we didn't have the best either. But when you can look back at whatever age you're at and say, you know what, it wasn't that half bad, then you are living the best life ever. For real. So again, I I guess I'm gonna keep this one short, but again, usually the most is gonna be is 20 minutes. So anything over 20 minutes, I must have fell asleep, or maybe it was a better topic and I wouldn't mind going over. But I'm always just gonna keep it 20 minutes or less. But I truly appreciate everyone listening to my podcast, coming back to listen, even the new people. Thank you. Hello. Hello, new people. I just enjoy your company. I hope you enjoy mine. And one thing I will say, this is a motto that I go by, is that no one can stop you except you. So remember that. No one can take your joy, your happiness, your peace, unless you allow it. So live the best life, love yourself to the fullest, and know that you are the shit. Take care.